Well, today Scruffy's quite pleased with himself because he's got over 100 subscribers. So we're going to ask him some questions. So we've made him a coffee, and why we made him a coffee? Because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. So we're going to roll the intro and go and find him. Scruffy?
What?
Scruffy?
What?
What you doing?
It's Star Wars Sunday, I'm watching Star Wars. Am I looking like that?
I've got your coffee.
Why? What do you want?
Well, you always interrogate me. It's my turn to interrogate you.
Oh, is that right? What have I done?
Nothing. I'm just going to ask you a few questions.
Alright, okay. Fair enough.
Well, you said you were going to tell me what you do all day, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
Not really, because it depends on what your questions are.
Well, first of all, have you always been scrubby?
Short answer, yes. But that's just me. That's why you love me.
Right. Why trade rather than a 9-to-5 job?
Ah, right, okay. Well, that is the $100 question, isn't it? I used to work, as you know, in the blue chip sector. I was in medical sales a long time, and I was literally married to the job. I had no life, no home life, and I wanted to change that. And the reason I worked for myself, as eventually you did for you, was to regain a little bit of time freedom and also not be a slave to the man. And that's why I did it, because I might be a good boss, but I'm not a very good employee.
Fair enough. How do you start trading? Where do you start?
Where do you start? Right, okay. The first way of starting, I guess, is having an understanding of what the markets are. You know, what a Forex trading is, indices, stocks and shares, and have an interest in financial instrument. Now, a lot of people start just by investing in an ISA, and they see their money grow, and then they think, well, there's a stocks and shares ISA and I can pick and choose the stocks. So that's one way of starting. But another way is just simply find a decent broker with a demo account and try it and see if you get on with it. It's no risk, because it's virtual money, and you might find you enjoy it. So that's another way to start.
Leading on, what is Forex trading?
What is Forex trading? The easiest analogy I can give for Forex trading is it's one currency traded against another. They're always in pairs. So it's a zero-sum market. In other words, if one goes up, the other one must go down. Right? So they always balance each other out. But most people that go on holiday have done Forex trading. When we go on holiday to see Mickey Mouse, and we in Florida, you want dollars to spend. Right? So when I send you off to the post office and you change our pounds for dollars, so we've got a bit of spending money, that's a currency exchange. And then when we come home, we give those dollars back and we get some pounds back. But the rate may have fluctuated while we were away, and that's why you see a difference in the price. And that's the easiest way of describing Forex. It's basically one currency against another.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. What is the long and short?
What is the long and short? Well, I'm long and you're short. It's terminology that's used in the trading markets. If I said to you the FTSE's up today, you'd probably understand that. But if I said to you I've gone long, you maybe won't understand that. It's a term used that a trader is if he thinks the instrument is going to rise in price. And short is the opposite. If I think that instrument is going to go down in price, I will short the market. And that's what I mean. It's terminology for direction, is the easiest way. So when you put your bid on, if I think the market is going to rise, I will put a long position on, and if I think it's going to fall, I'll put a short position on.
Okay. Yeah. What is a margin?
A margin, as in piece of paper or as in Forex trading?
Oh, wonder.
Margin is a small deposit that you hold in your trading account to fund the instrument you're going to trade. You'll hear it called leverage, margin. It's essentially the same thing, and it's all margin is literally a goodwill deposit held within your brokerage account for you to trade a larger position, and that's it. It's the easiest way to say it. It's just a goodwill deposit.
Right. Okay. What is the best strategy?
The best strategy?
Yeah.
Oh, there isn't one.
Oh dear.
If that makes any sense. Strategies are normally personality specific. You either keep them simple, complex. I find the simplest strategies work best, because you can see the charts very clearly, and that can be a combination of moving averages. I use support and resistance in a Bollinger Band. That is what I use, and I use the Bollinger Band as my favorite tool because it is a combination of support and resistance and a moving average. You have a moving average runs through the middle of it, and the outer extremes act like support and resistance. So if I only ever had one tool to use, that would be it. But with that said, strategies change for market conditions, because as you asked earlier, long and short, that means the market's either going up or it's going down. You have to have a different strategy for each, because the market can also go sideways. Alright. And if you have a moving average in a sideways market, it's worse than useless. But in a trending market where it's going in a single direction, then your moving average is your best friend. So there isn't really a clear answer to what is the best strategy, because there isn't one. There's 101 strategies out there. My advice to you is find a strategy that suits your personality, which reflects in the time frame you're going to trade, but is also easy to understand to yourself, and stick with it. Because an account killer is moving from one strategy to another, because you'll start on a strategy and you'll think this is working fantastic, made a little bit of money, but then it stops working, so you'll swap it to something else. Instead of really what's happened is the market conditions have changed. So you're best off having maybe 2 or 3 strategies. That's all you need. I have a trending strategy and a sideways strategy, and I only use the 2 because that's all I need. So bit of a wishy-washy question answer, that one, because it's a difficult one to answer.
Alright. And last but not least, what is the hardest part of trading?
The hardest part of trading? Living with you, I think. It's hardest part of trading. It's the emotional roller coaster trading puts you on, is the hardest part. Understanding the charts, pretty simple. I can read any chart, it doesn't matter what instrument it's on. But if you go from an extreme high to an extreme low, it creates havoc with your personal life, and you must be able to control those emotional swings. And to me, that's the hardest part of trading. The technicals and the fundamentals are relatively easy to understand, but it's knowing yourself. How do you deal with those emotions? And that's the hardest thing, because you'll go through fear, you'll go through greed, you'll go through anger, you'll go through self-pity, and then you've also got shame. And shame is the worst one, because if you're dealing with large amounts and you lose a lot of money, how do you tell your significant other you've lost a lot of money? So you feel quite shameful and embarrassed, and then you hide it, and because you hide it, it takes you into a different level altogether. Whereas if you can control what's going on and you have a decent plan in place, because going back to your strategy, you should also have a business plan, and part of that business plan should be controlling the amount of money that you're willing to lose against the amount of money you're willing to gain. And that'll help you with your emotions, because emotions is what will kill you, and it'll also destroy your relationships if you don't handle it correctly, and that's the worst thing that can ever happen in trading.
Right. Well, thank you. Let you get back to Star Wars and your coffee.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
Alright. I'm not in trouble.
No.
No?
Not today.
Not today. Might be tomorrow. Okay. Alright, boys and girls. Well, that was a little bit of an odd one, because believe it or not, she decided to do that on her own. And sort of hoodwinked me into doing it this afternoon. But that's why she's the best one in the world. Anyway, boys and girls, do what you love, money will follow. Now I'm going back to watch Star Wars. See you on the next one.
There you go.